1,000 apologies for the intrusion, Your Highness. Lord Vader has returned.
Welcome home, my young apprentice.
Yeah, it's Star Wars, but at the same time, it's a bit like making a monster movie. As a kid watching Star Wars, one of the things that always caught my imagination was the weird world of alien creatures and just all the weird side characters like Bib Fortuna or any of the Cantina aliens in Episode 4. Star Wars has always had a rich history of these kind of creepy side characters that are iconic and memorable in their own right. Most of them even have backstories and names, which they didn't really have to do, but it's one of the things that makes Star Wars feel big and exciting. And with the character of the Arbiter, we try to pay tribute to that kind of thinking and make our own kind of creepy weirdo from outer space.
More like a monster movie kind of character where it's very visual. You know, he's got the fangs, he's got the teeth, he's got the eyes, he's got horns coming out of his chin, and so he's more of a monster, like a classic monster movie kind of feel, like an old Hammer film or the old Universal monsters.
Whenever you're making a film, side characters are really what add sort of like the secret sauce to a film. They can bring these cool little moments that people remember. Like in Episode 4 in the cantina scene, there was that guy. He was like a little devil mask guy. It was actually a Halloween mask that Rick Baker had laying around when they reshot some of the cantina sequence in Episode 4. And he just threw off on this devil mask, and he did this weird kind of comical little grin, and he ended up in the film. So I wanted to have a little moment kind of like that cantina guy grin. So when we had the Arbiter with the teeth and everything, we just had to throw it in there. So that was kind of like, you know, our little cantina guy moment, really.
The teeth kind of sort of informed what the voice was going to sound like, because even when we're doing the ADR, I was trying to think what I would sound like with the teeth in. So
the way we did his voice was kind of interesting. It was a bit of a team effort.
I used to do a little bit of death metal vocals back in the day, so kind of that raspy, throaty tone that you get, you know, down here in your throat. Kind of utilize that a little bit. You know, it's a little bit of Dr. Claw, you know, gadget, you know, that kind of stuff. A little bit of Megatron. I guess that was the same guy, Dr. Claw and Megatron.
I pitched his voice down by like two semitones, and then I doubled that, and then I pitched the second layer down even more. So he has this kind of doubling on his voice already. But then underneath that, I did like this kind of whispery, wheezy kind of pass with just this weird breathy kind of sound. And when you mix those three passes together, you get this kind of weird, unnerving voice because it's actually two voices at the same time.
With all of that layered together, it kind of gives it a nice, creepy feel. Hopefully not too creepy for the kids.
The inspiration for the look of the Arbiter came from a lot of different places in Star Wars, because I really wanted him to be unique, but also firmly grounded in Star Wars, so he wouldn't just be this weird, kind of off-the-wall horror movie character just like, blah, thrown into a Star Wars film somewhere.
Some of the inspiration for his look was one of them was like the old Imperial Guards from Return of the Jedi with the red, lots of the red coloring, and the kind of the high helmets that they had.
I also used a bit of influence from the main guy from Utapau in Episode 3, the deep maroon colors and kind of like the spooky old man kind of vibe. There's a little bit of Darth Maul in there, obviously, but there's also a bit of Mother Talzin from the Night Sisters from the Clone Wars series, again with the high crest and the maroon colors. it just gives them kind of like this spooky, kind of ritualistic appearance.
Also, the attendants, the old attendants of the Emperor Palpatine from Jedi, kind of played into his look. They were kind of creepy guys that sort of resembled Palpatine in his throne room, but so we gave the Arbiter a little bit of that feel.
I just kind of was thinking about this character, and I thought, how can he look more alien and look more interesting besides the teeth and the, funny color and everything. And then I remember the Jem'Hadar in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I always liked those aliens when I was growing up, and I always liked all the horns they had around their face. So I thought, what if I could sculpt these little horns? And I just kind of thought, like, his species, maybe when you're young you don't have the horns, and then when they grow up it's kind of like a guy growing a beard.
I was kind of iffy at first, I'll admit, with the horns. I wasn't sure how that would look. Like, he's almost got like a beard that's made up of horns, so I thought, is that going to look like a weird, like, reverse Darth Maul kind of thing?
I was a little worried we weren't going to be able to use the horns at first, because when we were trying to put them on, for some reason the adhesive wasn't making them stay. They kept falling off every time I'd glue them on his face. But we finally got him on there, and I'm really happy with how it looks. It makes him look very creepy, and it helps give him kind of a unique vibe.
Once we got it all on me, and the horns as well, I was kind of sold. I was pretty sold on it.
I'm very proud of how he turned out as a character, and it looks really cool. And between the eyes and the teeth and the horns coming out of his chin, I think we managed to create something that was iconic and interesting, reminiscent of Star Wars, but still unique in his own way, and really pretty creepy.
Hello, how are you today? Welcome to the party. Order, caviar. It's lovely.
Without a doubt, the best part about making a Star Wars fan film is it's like playing as a kid all over again. Only now we get to dress up and our costumes are really cool, And between seeing Micah with his teeth and the horns and his whole creepy outfit, and me and all the Palpatine makeup, it's like, it's like we got a monster movie on our hands here, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a bit like a kid. Going back to my childhood, I loved dressing up like a ninja when I was a kid, and Spider-Man, and I was Chewbacca one year for Halloween.
One of the most exciting but intimidating aspects of the Arbiter as a character was that I realized I had a chance to write a theme for a Star Wars character, because there was no piece of music to accompany this guy, and John Williams always has character themes.
The musical theme, that is very cool. Again, very, very classic kind of monster movie, inspirations, but also John Williams.
So what I did when I was writing his music was I incorporated a lot of the low choral voices and deep cellos, so his music is in the same family and the same kind of feeling as Palpatine's theme from Episode 6. And also, since the Arbiter spends time around Palpatine, it works out musically because I can crossfade from their themes very easily when I'm writing the final soundtrack. But it was a lot of fun. I actually layered my own voice just over and over and over again to make my choir. And it was just fun making that kind of spooky, kind of haunting music, because it adds to that monster movie feel, once again, that we were really trying to go for.
For the Arbiter to get his own theme, that was very gratifying. So, yeah, I liked that.
While creating Star Wars, George Lucas pulled from all kinds of different sources that inspired him, from paintings to old films, pieces of music and artwork, all kinds of things. So we wanted to do the same thing here and kind of tip our hat to the old Universal monster movies with this particular sequence, right down to having lightning flashing after the right line of dialogue, and distant thunder and all that kind of thing, just to give it a real spooky, eerie kind of vibe.
Without giving it away too much, he's there for a reason, and I think it works into the storyline in a kind of a clever way. So I think he's a cool character. So not just because I play him too, but